Hey everybody, welcome back to Quirky Lemon. My name's Tony and as always I am super humbled that you are here today watching my teeny tiny channel. I hope everyone's getting in the holiday spirit. We're definitely getting in the holiday spirit in the Howlett house. We put our tree up today. So it's Friday evening, November the 25th, 2022. And tomorrow is the Ghostwood Market Show and I still can't decide what to price my Hoya Polyneura Albos. I just have no idea how to price them. So even though you're going to see this video after the market, I thought I would show you some footage of me actually cutting the plant, which I did on the 11th of October. And then we can have a look at how they're doing, which is like, what, 6 weeks on from the cut? Because they're all doing actually really great. So let's cut to that footage and have a quick look at me chopping them, and then I'm going to show you the plants. Hey everybody, this is Editing Tony just jumping in because this video ended up being something different to what I thought it was going to be at the start. So stick around to the end. I am going to show you the Polyneura and the cuttings and how I price them, but also at the end I'm going to talk to you about the show and also show you my mother plant so you can kind of get an idea of what's happened to her since I cut her. Okay, back to it. We're just gonna chop. So there's the first vine. And then a one leafer. It was pretty scary cutting it, honestly. Like, it's my most expensive plant and you know, I was anxious about chopping it, but I'm glad I did because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cuttings, and I gave one to Garania over at Jungle Flowers Canada, and I have the other 6 here that I'm going to show you right now. So this was actually the lowest cut. It was the one leaf, so I'd lost a leaf, which is what prompted me to repot the mother plant. And I will zoom in, but she has activated, you see that little green nubbing there? She has activated new growth, so I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna sell this for cheap or maybe even give it away at the market because I don't know. It will be cheap. Like, I hope this makes someone's Christmas, honestly. And then we have the mid cuts. They need a little wipe down. I know they're very firm, guys, but they all kind of, I don't know, they hardened off, wilted over, but they are like super firm. And if we turn this one, oh, you see we have great roots. So this is in a mix of pon and stratum. And then we have new growth there with a pair of leaves coming out. So that's the first one. This is also mid-cut. This one's nice, got some nice splashing. And she also has a nice pair of leaves. Actually, looks like she's working on secondary leaves too. And then the same with this one, a little cutie. And she has a pair of leaves touching the substrate down here, and then she's working on a secondary pair here. I've been repotting, my nails are very dirty. And then we have the 2 top cuts. Let's start with the smaller one. So cat is meowing at the window. So this was the top cut, beautiful splashy leaves. Here. I don't want it because they are very, very firm. And you can see we have new pair of leaves here and she's working on her second set here. So and also amazing roots. I actually really like this one. It's very pretty. And then the other top cut. So if you remember, I had 2 vines that I cut, and this is the second top cut. So again, we have some really pretty primary leaves. This one has 2 leaves and 2 more established leaves at the top, so 6 in total. And if you look under here, you can see she's activated a secondary node. So this one will have, like my mother plant did, will have 2 vines. So maybe this one is priced a little more. I don't know. Great roots again though. Stratum for the win, I'm telling you. So when I am pricing a plant or looking for a price of the plant, I keep in mind what I paid for the plant because I want to try and recoup some of that. Like my goal for each of my plants, honestly, is that with cuttings they pay for themselves, and that was always the hope with this. There's a ghost. And then I have a look on Etsy and see how much they are on Etsy, what they're going for. And I have a shop on Etsy too, as well as my own website. I always price a little bit more on Etsy because the fees for Etsy are a lot. Like it's a chunk of your profits. So I always kind of take that into account when I'm looking at Etsy, and we're going to have a look at Etsy in a second. And then obviously I keep an eye on what's being sold on Marketplace and at other stores. They are still hard to find, I think. I mean, if you're looking hard enough, you can probably find one, but they're not, you know, it's not something you can just find. I think there are 2 sellers. When I checked, there were 2 sellers on Etsy selling them. And on Marketplace, I'm actually seeing them anywhere from like 1 or 2 leaves for between 120 and 200 Canadian dollars, honestly, tends to be the range. But yeah, I really just don't know. Anyway, let's have a look over Etsy and see what they have, and then you guys can tell me what you think. Okay, so this is a search from yesterday or a couple of days ago, so I'm just going to refresh it and then let's have a look. So I always add the filters in for Canada. Where are you? There. Now let's apply that. And then let's look at Magic of Plants. Ethan, he's local to me actually. Great seller, really great seller, and a really nice guy. He's a nice guy. Okay, let's have a look. So they have pick 3 left, which is this one. So that's 1, 2, 3 plus 2 on the way. So I'm gonna say pretty similar to this one. So mine has 4, his are a little more established, so 250. And what does pick 3 look like? Pick 4, so this is pick 4. So this is just I would say mid-cut. It doesn't say if it's rooted. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say if it's rooted. I'm sure you could ask him. I mean, he gets awesome reviews on his shop. So just 2 leaves, fresh cut. It looks like a fresh cut to me for $200. Let's look who else. So Mini Secret Garden, Canada. I see her a lot when I'm looking on Etsy. I haven't bought from her. I want to. I like supporting other small sellers, and I don't know. I just really want to. So we're gonna do an online shop at some point. Okay, so she has B, which is very similar to mine, right? With the 2 and the 2 new establishing leaves for $240. And then she has C, I'm saying she, I really have no idea, I should say they. Also $240, those are more established leaves. Actually, that could be part of the cut. Shall we zoom in and see? Yeah, I don't see new growth there. So I would say those were established from the cut. So she did a 4-leaf cut or a 2-node cut. But I mean, I don't know without properly looking at the plant. Let's have a look if she added anything to the description. You'll get the Hoya as pictured. Without the pot, it may be shipped by route. For your side, you can a license final sale. Okay, nothing really exciting there. So 4 leaves, $240, $250. So maybe I do 6 leaves. My ones that have like 2 sets, so 3 nodes for $250, and I do my 4 for $200, and then the ones that have 2 I do for less. Let's see. I was also just thinking about I'm also actually thinking about just having a look tomorrow if anyone's there selling them, because I'm very conscious of underpricing. Not for me, but I don't want to undercut other sellers. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it's very unfair to do that. when the money isn't as important to me as it is to them, if that makes sense. So it's balancing that out, right? So I think this gives me kind of a good idea. Yeah, I think this gives me a good idea. And then tomorrow I'll just price them when we're there. I wonder if I get a chance to edit this tonight and post it tomorrow. Tonight even. No, I'm gonna save it and then I'll do a little exit, a little outro, just letting you know if I did sell them and what they sold for. I think that would be kind of neat. Thanks for watching. Oh wait, I'm gonna come back and do an outro. Bye. I am back. You saw me a little earlier editing Tony. Now I'm back for real. It is Sunday evening, so it's the day after the Ghostwood Market show, and I wanted to give you a little update on how it went, what I ended up pricing everything for, and give you an update on my mother plant because she's had some quite significant growth since I cut her. So the show was long, it was interesting, it was busy, it was a little bit overwhelming, I gotta say. Like, we got there, it was in Toronto, so that's about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive for us. When we got there, we were all really excited and we set up and everything was good. And then about 30 minutes into the show, Quinn got really unwell suddenly, like streaming nose, non-stop, coughing. It was not ideal. She ended up sleeping under the table for a little bit, and then we managed to get the car and parked it kind of right in front of the show, like of the big glass doors, so we could see her, and she kind of just went and laid in there. And Ian had brought the walkie-talkies, so she had a walkie-talkie. And we had a walkie-talkie, and obviously we were going to check on her all the time, but it kind of put a bit of a damper on it for us. I just wanted to take her home, honestly, but you know, it'd been a lot of work getting there, and yeah, so you know, we stayed. It wasn't as successful financially as the orchid show that I did earlier. I mean, I did make a little bit of money, but not what I anticipated with it being in Toronto. I thought that, like, the plants that I sold, it always interests me what people buy. None of my really rare Hoyas sold. All my Ripsalis and Dischidia sold, which was interesting. And even though I had some, well, you saw, like, I was pricing some smaller cuttings for like $5 and $10. I don't know, they just didn't sell. So I did sell a couple of my larger leaf, more interesting leaved Hoyas. Yeah, it was interesting. There was no one else there selling the Polyneura, although there were a couple of Hoya sellers. In fact, I think most of the plant sellers had some Hoya, and obviously Crystal Star Nurseries were there too, and they, oh my gosh, they had the most amazing multifloras, like huge multifloras with numerous blooms. They were beautiful. I ended up so no one was selling the Polyneras. I kind of had a look around. I ended up pricing them on the lower end, I would say. And I did sell one of the cuttings, actually, just one. And I didn't take them all. I kept a couple because this week I've had 3 mystery box purchases of my collector's bundles that I do. So that is, you know, at least 6 cuttings of what I would call collector's Hoyas, so rarer Hoyas. And you know, my interpretation isn't always, rare doesn't always mean expensive. It's hard to find. And so I wanted to add, as opposed to adding a fresh cut from my Polyneura, which I don't want to cut again until next year, I decided to keep some Polyneura back to add into those bundles. So instead of getting, you know, a fresh cut, they'll get a rooted cut, which I think would be kind of, you know, I would be thrilled with that. I still haven't made them up. It's Sunday night. I will be taking the cuttings tonight, and then I box them all up on Monday and send them out. But I've been kind of looking around my collection and seeing what else I have, and I'll probably look at what I have left from the show and see what is interesting from that too. I have a couple of Nova Ghost cuttings. I have a couple of Herschelianas. I have some interesting Finlaysonii hybrids. Yeah, so I think I might have enough rooted to send everybody something that's rooted as opposed to unrooted, and that just kind of frees up space for me too. So yeah, I'll be putting those together, and I might do a video of me taking the cuttings, but I won't be posting it until next week because I want some of it to be a surprise for people. And that's not to say that every collector's bundle will include a Polyneura. So I'd hate for people to buy it thinking they're going to get a Polyneura, happen to have them ready and would like to pass them on to someone. So really my bundles are just about what I have ready to cut or that's rooted, you know, what's ready as opposed to including specific things. I never really know what's going to go into the bundles until I start to put them together. And that's really fun for me, honestly, just walking around and taking little cuttings. Yeah, it makes me really happy. And I always ask people that purchase from me, like new customers, I'll ask them, you know, is there anything on their wish list? And again, that's not because I think I'm gonna give them their wish list plant, although if I have it and it's ready, then absolutely I would. But it does give me an idea of the kind of plants that they like, and so I can try and, you know, at least give something that I think that they'll enjoy. Yeah, so that was really the show. I didn't take much footage, honestly. I took a tiny little video, which I'll show you, just because between Ian and I looking after Quinn, I just didn't have the opportunity to really wander around. I did buy a plant, but I had reached out to the seller previously. Juju's Jungle, I think it's called. I'll put her Instagram up here. And I know this is the first time I've met her in person, but we're on kind of the same forums and, you know, that kind of thing. So I know of her. And it was so nice to meet her in person. She's just wonderful and her collection is amazing. And I got a Hoya species, Affinity Bottonii variegated, which I've been looking for. My regular one is, of all my plants that I have, that Hoya loves pon. Like, it's amazing how much it loves pon. It grows. I mean, I think they're good growers anyway, but it's crazy how well that one is doing in pon. I actually just moved her. I think you can see her. She's right there. I've been moving some of my plants from the kitchen just to kind of, it feels a little bit with like Christmas decorations going up, like it just felt very overwhelming for me. And now I have my study a little more set up for having more plants in here. I've been moving in things that I enjoy, and that's one of them for sure there. So let's take a look at the mother plant of the Polyneura. So these are the original 2 leaves that came with the plant. She was an unrooted cutting, although I bought her as an unrooted cutting, although when I got her, she had started to put out some water roots. She was in one of those little test tubes. So these were her original leaves, which you can see she's never really sized up to where she was, you know, when she first came. And then if I spin her around, these are the 2 vines that she put out for me. And honestly, I was thrilled that I was getting 2 vines out of her. I hadn't expected to get 2. And so I was like just very excited about that. So this is the one I chopped down, and it was a smaller one, and I left 2, just 2 leaves. And this is the one where I left the 4 leaves. Now, when I cut her, she had started to put out these 2 new vines. And you'll remember I have a video like Plant Dilemma, help me decide whether I should chop her or not. I wanted to chop her, and then I saw these 2 new vines, and I was like, do I want to? Really, did I want to piss her off is what I was thinking. Like, I didn't want to piss her off. But I went ahead and did it anyway, and I chopped her. So in 8 weeks, the new vines that were on there, I mean, you can see these are significant vines now. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have, you know, 6 established leaves and 2 new ones coming on this vine. And we have, actually you can't see, but down here there is a set of leaves too. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8 established and 2 new ones coming. So that's how much growth she's got. And look at this one got trapped, and it's it's grown with this kind of inverted. It's really cute though, and no, like I don't see any damage, but it was kind of caught inside the little glass vase like this when it grew. But I mean, how beautiful are these original leaves from that second vine? Like, they're just beautiful. And then the new vines have much more splashing than the older vine and much more variegation. And that is, I think, like, personally, because I started giving her much more light. This is a plant that can take more light than you think. And I really learned from Kevin at Hakuna La Planta. I was afraid to give her a lot of light, I'm honestly. And so I would say she was in medium to bright, but now she's directly under my Mother Life grow light. She's on a bit of a stand, so she's not far off the top of it. And she seems to be, you know, super happy about that. Now, the other cool thing is when I just came to take her down, and now remember, every Sunday I take my Hoyas into the kitchen, all of them, off my Hoya shelf, and I inspect them, and I flush everything out, and I water them, and I clean everything, like I disinfect all the trays they're in and stuff. It's just, I don't know, I enjoy doing it. It's good for my mental health, honestly, to do that. It's like, it's very meditative for me to do it. So I enjoy doing it. I'm not saying that everybody needs to do it. This is just part of my routine that I get some satisfaction from doing. So last week took her down, you know, checked her, everything was fine. And then this week when I took her down to bring her over here, she has actually activated a new vine here from the first vine that I cut. So she has 2 little leaves coming from this original vine that I cut and left 4 leaves on. And I see on the second vine that I left 2 leaves on, it's going to be really hard for me to show you, but she has activated a node right at the base. So at the base of here where we have, let me see if I can just, so at the base here where we have, you know, 1 vine coming out, then the second vine coming out, there's actually a 3rd vine starting. So that again is really cool. And I also think she's trying to bloom. So there are a couple of spots on her where I don't think they're new growth points. I think they're peduncles trying to come out. You see there. And then if I lift this one up right here, there's another one. It could be a growth point, I guess, but I really think it's peduncles, honestly. So yeah, like, I'm just chopping her only benefited her from the number of, you know, growth points that she's put out, and she's just as happy and as healthy as she ever was. I find this Polyneura to be the easiest of my Polyneuras to grow. I have the Brogée, I have the silver, I don't know if they're the same. I have the regular, I have a splashy, which is just regular but with splash or more splash. And I struggle with them. I find they need more humidity. When I put them under a dome, they do significantly better. As soon as I remove them from the dome or try to acclimate them, they start to drop leaves. They're just unhappy. This one is, you know, amazing. Amazing. I think I've had it for 5 months. I think I did a 3-month update, and it's been a further 2 months since that, around that. So, you know, I've had her for 5 months. In this 8 weeks since I chopped her, this is, you know, this top is everything that she's put out. So I find her to be a fast grower. Again, I have her in pon. I feed her every water with a 15-30-15. And she gets lots of light. She's on the top shelf of my Hoya shelves, which was 27% humidity today, so not one that needs high humidity at all. And you can see there's no browning, there's no damage on any of the leaves. Like, she's just stunning. So they are really coming down in price. I think keep an eye on them. Yeah, really keep an eye, because if you like Hoya and you like Polyneura, I mean, I like Polyneura anyway. I don't think you'll be disappointed, honestly. I really don't. I really don't. She's beautiful. So I'm glad I did the show. It was a great experience. I got to meet lots of people. I got to meet some ping experts. I have a couple of friends who really love pings. I I can't say the real name of them, but you know, the ones that eat bugs. One of my friends is doing her PhD in kind of swamp stuff. And anyway, they just love pings. So there's someone there doing pings, and I messaged them and I was like, there's someone here with a sign that says fancy pings. And so it's like, send us all the videos of them. And I just had such a nice conversation with these two people. They were called Plant Z Hut. I'll put them up here. And they were so kind and so nice and engaging. And just the people that came to buy from them and like chat with them, I was just blown away. There were lots of, you know, younger people collecting these pings and the different ones and just talking so passionately about building vivariums and how they care for them, and just meeting each other while they waited to look at what this table had to offer and talking to each other and sharing ideas. Like, I was just like, holy moly, like this is an awesome little, you know, sub community within the plant community. It was just lovely. It was lovely to see it. And I had such a great time just connecting with them and sharing ideas. And actually my friend brought me a little jar of pings. She's going to help me to keep them alive. So they're sitting on our island right now. So we'll see how they go. So yeah, I'm glad I did it. We made a little bit of money, nothing exciting, and you know, money is not such a big issue now that I'm going back to work. The experience was good, and we had a really fun day. And then by the end of it, when we were like probably 30 minutes before we were packing up, Quinn woke up and she felt a little better, and we'd done a COVID test on her and it was negative. She just had COVID, but you know, she's back at school. It's like every second week she's sick. I didn't feel like it was COVID. It didn't present like it had in her previously. So she came back in for the last kind of 30 minutes and connected with people and just, yeah, she's just very happy. And she's been working on a little project for my channel, which she's going to share with you soon, hopefully soon. So that's it. I know this was longer and kind of, I went way off topic with stuff, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're going to kind of enter my little giveaway. I wanted to call it a gift away, but I wanted to be clear about what it was. But I love sharing my plants with people, and I'm just, I don't know, I have some really cool things that I can add into a non-Canadian box that aren't plants, because I can't ship plants outside of Canada. But I think, you know, I think people will love them, and I appreciate all your support. You are all just wonderful. Like, receiving messages like wishing me luck for the show it's very humbling for me. Sorry, I'm very emotional today. I'm exhausted from yesterday, and Ian is in the States. So we got back last night pretty late, and then Ian had to leave at 3 this morning to head to Vegas for the big tech conference that's going on there. So he's gone all week, and you know, Quinn's sick, and I'm just getting ready to go back to work, and so I'm feeling very emotional, and just your messages and your support is just super humbling to me. Honestly, you guys are amazing. Thank you for being so nice. Okay, enjoy the rest of your week. My Christmassy stuff starts later this week, so I'm excited about that. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.